non-qualified compensation, so the non-qualified options, phantom stock units, things like that, straight stock certainly can be given to anyone, whether that anyone is an individual or an employee or otherwise, or a corporation. So there is some differences. Most of at least the basic principles that we talked about could be done with a company as well. It would take a little bit of a different structure, but you can get the same effect.
And a lot of companies, for instance, if they are providing consulting services to a startup, are very happy to take it, and if they think it looks good, they are very happy to take your compensation in the form of company stock instead of cash at first. I think that's good. Okay.
I understand time-based vesting schedules are really common with stock options and equity compensations, things like this. I think startups and companies want to avoid, say, giving 15% of their company to what they think is going to be an important key employee, and then have that person leave and then not have anything to do with the company but still own 50% of the company. Can you talk about the most common ways to do like time-based, time-vested equity compensation program?
It varies, and it's used for different purposes. Sometimes it's used for just sort of straight, bonus type purposes. Sometimes it's used as a handcuff to keep people there. So you can have what's called cliff vesting, where you'll make somebody stay there usually you don't see it more than 5 years, but they have to be there 3 or 5 years before they actually get it. Sometimes it's what's called graded, where after 1 year they'll get 25%, 2 years 50, and they sort of do it that way. But it's part of it depends on what the purpose is. It's frequently used as a handcuff to keep people around. Performances can be a little bit more iffy, and performance based equity is frequently given to the top people who really will have a big impact on it. But a lot of times time vested will be given to people who you want there in a few years. Or if you have a cash flow problem, it's a good way to get compensation to people. And that's something that we saw a lot of, 2009, 2010 around here, both for small companies as well as the Ford Motor Company was doing it. There wasn't a lot of cash, and good people are always in demand, even in times of economic stress. And it was a way to provide people with compensation when there wasn't cash around.
And beyond that, which I agree with, is to make sure they don't take it. I think it does work a lot of times with a handcuff. They want it, they're going to stay till they get it. Once they get it, that's a whole separate problem. You can do one of a few things which are most common, at least in my practice, I'm guessing it's not significantly different elsewhere, is in the participation agreement, the award, whatever you call the document where they agree to what they're getting, you will have a right to say if you take your benefit in stock, whether it's by choice or that's what you get, if you leave the company for whatever reason, we can buy those shares back from you at whether it's fair market value or some prearranged price per share. And you put that right into the agreement where they get the grant. And that sort of alleviates some of the stress. I mean, obviously there's the risks of, do you have the cash to do that? And